So we are going to move to our last panel, and I ask Ana Valles, Stefan, who to give the floor. And also the people we have online, Frank Escudero, Agustín Quesada, a Lola Borda. We are waiting a second. Okay, so to start our panel for a representative of the local government and technician, as I think you understand for now, the project aims both private and public sector. That's the reason for that we have in our consortium private and public entities, and we have today public and private entities who are going to talk us about topics related with security, and that I think are very important for us. So first of all, thank you to be here. I'm very happy to have Ana Valles here today. She works as a European policy manager in the European Cybersecurity organization. So, Anna, the floor is yours.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for the invitation here. Always a pleasure. As Patri said, this project is also about the cooperation between private and public entities, but the organization I'm representing, we kind of have a little bit of everything. We are a non-profit organization called the European Cybersecurity Organization, and the added value that we bring is that we are composed of almost 300 members, and they represent the public sector. On the one side, we have from regional and national authorities, national institutes and agencies in cybersecurity, as for example, in CIBE, which is the National Institute of Cybersecurity in Spain. And then we have the private sector as well. We have academia, research centers, SMEs, investors, etc. So what our organization does is to support the cybersecurity industry in Europe as a whole, and we do it by targeting different areas within this sector. So we are divided in working groups which have different fields of expertise, and we have standardization and certification. Then we also follow we have a policy task force which focuses on collecting the regulations and the updates that come from the European institutions regarding cybersecurity, and try to showcase and display it in a way that targets each of our groups within the organization. We also have the trainees and training and skills working group, and this one is very important because one of the challenges that we find nowadays in cybersecurity, but in general, is the lack of awareness in digitalization and of training for the youth. We can see that nowadays digitalization is a sector that is growing, and is growing really fast in these years. And more businesses, both from the public and private sector, they are asking for people to work, and people that are specialized in the technical field, in the cybersecurity, IT, all this. But we are lacking of this generation of people that has the skills. So one of our main goals is to also raise awareness in the importance of having some education on this, of making the universities, institutes to specialize their studies in IT and in cybersecurity in concrete. And within that, we also put a focus in the youth and children. We have cybersecurity, youth for cyber, we call it. So we try to also engage the young people in a dynamic way in the cybersecurity field, and to let them know how important it is to be aware of the challenges, the obstacles, and also the threats that may come from the use of mobile phones, of other gadgets, etc. And then it comes more the part that I work in, which is the regions, the market, and the SMEs. And on the one side is two sides of the same coin. Then we have the investment in the market. So they are very closely linked. And what we do is to cooperate directly with the regional authorities. It depends not only regional, but also national ones. For example, for Estonia, which is a small country, so they may have same competencies. And what we try to do here is to put them together, because we have such big fragmentation in the market and in Europe in terms of cooperation for in fields like now cybersecurity, but in many others in the market as a whole. So what we try to do is to put them together, to encourage them to exchange good practices, to understand what a threat or a challenge that one region has already passed years ago can be of use for the next years of another region. So that is one of our work. And then to support the startups and scale-ups, which are part of the 80% of the market here in Europe. So we try to give them visibility at European level, to support them in growing in the market, in cross-bordering, etc., either by putting them in touch with investors or with the corporate side of the market, with to help them out with partnerships, with integrators or end users that are looking to implement a cybersecurity solution or service. So this is my main role. And we also get involved in European projects. Not we don't do that very often. It has to be really aligned with the work that we do in EXO. But for example, we just finished an Interact project, which was a 5 years project with 9 different partners from all over Europe. We had 2, for example, from Spain, France, Italy, and the main objective of the project was to exchange good practices in order to create policies that could be implemented in the regional ecosystem to support the resilience and the awareness in cybersecurity. So it was more going to the social branch rather than the technical part of cybersecurity, which is also a really important focus that should be given from the point of view of the authorities at regional, local, and national level. Then we also have, and I think this is really valuable, we started having as part of our organization, a foundation for cybersecurity for women. But now they have been so successful with the sponsorship and help from other institutions and entities that they have developed in their own foundation. And their work is really important, because it's not that cybersecurity is only for women, but we have found that there's a lack of cybersecurity in the young generations in general, but especially in women. Everywhere you go, you will find older people and men. So what we try to do here is to also engage women and let them know that they can also be CEOs of entities, of enterprises, that the technical and IT sector is also a sector that belongs to them, which is something that we tend to neglect somehow. So we will have our first conference of the Women for Cyber Foundation in Madrid in September of this year. We are in touch also with the European Commission, with the representatives of the European institutions. and this is also a really valuable task that we are following, all towards gathering and pushing forward the cybersecurity industry in Europe. Finally, I will say that we also have different means of engagement with our organization. It can be either as by becoming a member of our organization or participating in European projects. But we also try to host events in different places all over Europe in order to give visibility to the regional ecosystem, to attract SMEs, other stakeholders in the industry from other places in Europe. And that's our main goal that we work towards too. And if you have, I think I gave the main description of our organization. If you have any questions, you can ask them now or you can ask them afterwards. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna. I think what you said it's important, and we noticed in our focus group interview the lack of women representation in the world of security. We did an interview to 45 people who work in security and only 9 women. So it's important. Maybe we have to focus and to work on this. So now we are going to move online. I think to Berlin. Not sure, Frank, if you are in Berlin or.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, proceed.
Great. I hope you're all having a great day. I'm actually in Frankfurt right now. And we're going to do a 60-minute presentation on cybersecurity in 10 minutes. So get your coffee, drink some coffee, hold on to your seats, and let's get started.
We will be you 15, if you prefer. You can have 15 minutes.
Great. So we'll have a short QA.
Okay, so the floor is you, Frank.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So here we start. Well, first of all, I've been cybersecurity advisor and incident responder for publicly exposed people and financial institutions for the last 10 years. And I'm currently the president of a non-profit organization in Frankfurt that is mostly educational. We deal with IT, but also with cybersecurity and graphic design and some other things. First of all, I want us all to understand that this cybercrime is rampant and always growing. Currently, it's the third largest economy after USA and China. So cybercrime is generating losses as much as almost as much as the whole production of China. Every year, trillions of dollars are lost to cybercrime, and that is constantly growing because today everything is connected to the internet, from your washing machine to your phones to your car, in most cases. So there's two types of common attacks. First of all, scams that are targeting people using social engineering, which means different psychological techniques to manipulate people. Phishing, that is when you get an email or you go into a website that is acting as something else to get information or to get you to pay for a fake service. And on the other hand, we have exploits that are what you mostly think of when you're talking about cybersecurity, that are zero-day exploits, malware, and vulnerabilities, which means targeting systems that mean basically that a hacker can run code and take control of your phone, your company's servers, and start listening to whatever you speak, your webcam or or get access to your database, etc. So first, we're going to talk about how do we prevent or deal with scams. Now more than ever, you should always manage a zero trust policy. Don't trust anything that you get, and the first thing you need to do is wait until you can verify that who you're dealing with. Is it your bank, your mother on the phone? Don't believe anything until you have a way to verify it. What I mean there by normal security context is like your phone home, your phone computer. You're not behind a VPN, you're not behind several firewalls, and you're not using PGP keys to validate the identity of the emails or messages you're getting. Everything, even caller ID, can nowadays be fake. You can get a call that says "mom" and suddenly it's somebody with the same voice, or even a video call with using artificial intelligence, and it's actually not your mother. And they could ask you, "Hey, give me the last 4 digits of your social security number," and then they use that data to take control of your bank account or create a bank account for you in another country and use it to run other kinds of scams. These messages and calls you can get can always be not only spoofed, like the thing that I told you when you see a message that says that it's coming from your bank, but it's actually something else, but they can also be hijacked. What does that mean? That you're talking with a friend, and suddenly your friend sends you a link or something weird, and that's actually no longer your friend. His account has been taken over, and you're speaking with a scammer. They always use emotional extortion and blackmail. That became super evident during, like with this example of a text message, where they take advantage of crisis to believe what they're telling you. You go into the website, and your credit card information gets stolen, or even something worse. The same thing can happen with your email account. You can get the spam folder doesn't catch everything, and once again, the accounts can be hijacked or even spoofed with picture, with the right email address, and even in the same thread. So you cannot trust. There has been many scams. Last week, Reddit was, I don't know if you use or you know Reddit. It's a huge platform, one of the biggest one where people exchange ideas and create threads. It's like a big internet forum. And they were hacked, and now they're being extorted for, I think, $10 million. Using this technique, sending emails like, "Hey, from your coworker, hey, I don't remember the database password. Can you send it back to me?" And you are sending it to a hacker or scammer. One very important thing we need to take in consideration is that for the last 10 years, there's been huge campaigns to tell us that when you see the green lock on a website, you can trust that website. But that's only the protocol of the connection. It doesn't mean that the website is trustworthy or even secure. It just means that the connection goes through the HTTPS protocol. And also, when you get an email that it says that it has been verified by McAfee or Avast or some other antivirus, it's just an image. Anybody can copy a logo and paste it. So this is super important. There's logos, badges, and green icons don't mean safe or trustworthy. It's also super important to know who we are dealing with. Scammers are very creative. They don't have a lot of IT knowledge. They're not hackers most of the times. They also don't have any personal attachment. So if you're being extorted or threatened by a scammer, they don't have anything personal against you. And they're also 100% of the time dealing with hundreds or thousands of victims. So what they are looking for is low risk, quick and easy money. They don't want to ruin your life or or target your company specifically because of some moral standards. They just want to make money. So if you act, the best way to deal with this is just ignore them, and they'll go to an easier target because they are dealing with hundreds at the same time. So let's go to the steps to prevent scams. You need to consider the possibility that you're speaking with someone else at any moment. As I said before, the email thread, the messaging app, they can be hijacked, even the phone call. So you need to pay attention to every single detail. If the URL changed, or there's some spelling mistake, or the behavior of your client or your friend is being weird, there you have a huge red flag. And if they suddenly start asking for money or private information, you should always try to validate it using your own two-factor authentication method. What do I mean by that? When you try to go into the bank, sometimes they ask you for a code, sometimes they ask you to send them to receive a code through SMS. You can make up your own system for yourself, where you tell them, okay, I'll call you later. You wait 5 minutes, and you send them a message through email or WhatsApp to tell them, hey, were you just calling me asking me for that? Or do it the other way around. If you receive a message, just call them, etc. And obviously, the first step is, if you feel something is weird, just cut all communications. Don't start asking questions, because that means you're interacting. That means you're an easy target. They will try to convince you. They will use emotional manipulations and several tools to get you. Oh, sorry. I thought I got disconnected. Am I still there? Checking. Hello? I'm not listening.
We listen you, Frank.
Great. Okay. Great. So moving on. Now we are gonna talk about how to prevent exploits. Bruce Schneider, that is an American cryptographer and security professional, is telling us that basically any device can be hijacked. Your computer, your phone, anything that is connected to the internet could be hacked, even by people with not a lot of cybersecurity knowledge, or just you can buy scripts, you can buy tools to hack Wi-Fi networks, etc. Here I have a short and nice exercise for the ones that are at home. You can scan that QR code with your phone, and on that website you can check your email or your phone number, and they can show you if your email or phone has been in one of those leaked databases. Because there are millions of accounts that are and personal information that are already being sold on the black market, on the dark web, for very little money, and they are really easy to get. And for example, here you can check. I put my phone number there, and my phone number, my address, my employers, and the things I liked on Facebook were leaked in 2021. And this lets us know that a lot of hackers and scammers have, well, most of them have access to all of our personal information, our friends, our family, our work and employer information. And this is one of the main reasons why in companies and everywhere they have security policies to change your password often, because it's likely that if you use your same password for your company than for Facebook, it gets hacked once in a while. And also to use a secure password, a long password. If you check this, it's interesting. But since this is part of a workshop that is quite longer, so we're going to move on quickly so that we have enough time to deal with other things. The next interesting thing would be for you to learn how to create safe passwords. The longer the password, the better, but it's better if you don't forget it. And one of the tools that I use to create safe passwords is this. You create first what we call a passphrase. So a sentence or something that you remember or can recall easily. In this example is we all live in a yellow submarine from the Beatles song. Then you decide what kind of separators you can use as a space or prefix for your password. And in this case, we are replacing all spaces with slashes and some spaces with dots. And this example includes a year that is easy to remember. It was the end of the world, and 2012, because of the movie and the end of the Mayan calendar, we /all /live in a yellow submarine. And we are capitalizing some of the letters to give it a little bit more randomness. The password should be at least 9 characters long. And why is this? This is mostly because if your password was securely stored in a database, it would be hashed. And in layman's terms, it means that the only way of getting your real password would be through a very expensive process. And if it's long enough and hard enough, it's going to be harder to what we call crack. So this is a great tool for you to use, and I hope you can start applying better password. Don't use your address, don't use your birthday or something like that, because that's easy to guess and to find out. Now, one of the worst things that can happen.
Frank, if
Yes.
you can conclude in 1-2 minutes, because we have to move to the next panelist.
Great.
Sorry.
No problem. It's terrible to update things, but you really need to, because it makes it hard to exploit. Don't install anything that you don't need. Every app that you install can be a door for a hacker to access your devices. Always destroy all your old computers, your hard drives. Never throw them away to the street, because every data, even if deleted, can be recovered. Don't pirate or download any apps, shady apps. And 90% of the exploits are because of human error. When you install something, you get an alert like this in Windows. So never trust anything, basically. Security is in your hands. And quickly, and finishing, this is basically the last slide. When there's an incident and you realize you've been hacked because your account is sending emails, etc., block all communication channels, assess the risk, find out what accounts have been hacked or devices compromised, communicate to your friends and family what happened in the business, take control of the account, and change the passwords, and report all the information that you gather to legal and financial institutions, even if they were not hacked, because they could have used your email account to contact your bank and get more information from them, for example. So zero trust, create your own security checks, use strong password, and follow the incident response steps. Thank you. Okay. Sorry for the length.
No, don't worry. I think it was very, very interesting. And I think you gave us some tips interesting for us, for our cybersecurity. So now we are going to move to Stefan Soriano from Benaguasil City Council, that are going to talk about how to manage security in a local government. So,
Sí.
Stefan.
Bueno, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Yo lo voy a hacer en castellano porque además soy defensor de la lengua de Cervantes. Siempre lo digo, la gente